brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose.
Every single day, every weekend, 24/7, it does not matter.
Tell them what breaking the black barrier mean, man. What they look like?
What is black, man?
What is black?
Copper Color Productions, man. The Copper Color King Cash More and Money, man. Let's get it.
Black King, stand up for understand what black is. It's the essence, it's the culture. We've been on this earth, you heard? The Bronx was called for Apache. Huh? The Bronx was called for Apache, man. Oh, last breed, bro. We bringing it back, last breed.
Really forever flying in this.
What's good? Hey man, we in the building. Y'all checking in early too. I already see the comments jumping already. Look, I already see the comments going crazy already over there. I already know what time it was. Comments going stupid. Listen, man. Tonight we going the fuck in. I'm telling you. Special guests in the building. It's time to turn up. One time for the one time. Make sure y'all sharing this shit too, man. Make sure y'all sharing this, because the guests I got on here tonight off of TikTok, and I'm telling them we go hard as fuck over here because we streaming to like 6 different platforms. TikTok get a lot of goddamn views though. TikTok be going in. Like, I'm on TikTok going heavy too. Like, as of like a month ago, I can go live on TikTok. That's a big deal because you gotta have 1,000 fucking followers to go live on TikTok. I think the third post I did, I pull up in a second, was about the indigenous people of North America, but I had a picture of Felicia Rashad. Felicia Rashad, Native American. So I had a picture of Felicia Rashad. That's the mama from the Huxtables.
A Native American actress, was born on this date in 1948. Born in Houston, Texas, her father was a full-blooded Native American.
I put a picture of Felicia Rashad on my shit. TikTok went crazy. I had Felicia Rashad up there. I had Shaka Khan up there. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5. And they Native people that we familiar with, because we're not familiar with seeing foreigners. So anyway, TikTok. Without further ado, I want to bring my ace on stage, man. Copper Color King in the building, man. What's happening, bro?
Wagwan, brethren.
What's good? Hey, man. I'm excited, bro.
Always.
I'm excited.
Always, man. It's always
you got
a
the
blessing.
chief in the building, man.
Yes, sir.
Big chief in the building. And
yes,
I feel
sir.
so excited about it because it's about to go up, bro. I feel about it. It's about to go up.
This man got so much content on his channel, man. Shout out to Chief, man. I just checked out his entire TikTok. He's going crazy.
Going stupido. Without further ado, Big Dog, Angry Chief, what's up, man? Talk to the people, bro. We in
What's
here.
good, fam? Listen, man, I've been at this joint for a while, bro. I've been at it for 15 years. I'm actually a filmmaker, but eventually I was an artist at first, but the music industry was kind of crazy. That was early on when Lady Gaga was about to be on. I was out there in the same audition with her, and it was around with
Word.
Akon and all of that. So some went wrong around because we was introduced into the 360 deal at that time, and it didn't work out. But music was my first love. Then I go to film school. Then, because I always feel like the only way we're gonna win the war if we start putting our picture with our story in there. Because to
Yes,
me,
sir.
biggest problem we face is Hollywood, bruh. That is the
Yes, sir.
majority of our biggest problem. And the film industry, eventually, with Black America, it's straight up military operation. All you've seen is the detrimental to our problems. All the
MK
movies have
Ultra.
been doing MK Ultra. It's the same movie, same drug dealing, same pimping, same prison shit. So we all trapped within the cycle of demise. So that's what encouraged me to feel like, okay, man, I gotta go to school and I'm gonna do it my way one day. And eventually I did. I'm in a good position right now that I really can make these movies. I really can make big things. But unfortunately, a movie is like a small government. You need a lot of help financially to do certain things, and that's where I'm at for right now. But
Gotcha.
also, I'm actually a fourth generation Zemiyaya. I call it Zemiyaya. That's the original name for it. People will call it a voodoo priest, but the indigenous term is Zemiyaya. That's the name for it.
Get your pens and pads, man. Big drop.
Listen,
Okay.
Hold on, Chief.
You
My
see?
bad. My bad. My people are ready in the comments, and these motherfuckers already know. So I've been doing this shit for since 2009.
Mm.
09. History, studying, teaching. It's a spot in Norfolk called the House of Consciousness on
Of
West
course.
35th Street.
Everybody know House of Consciousness. Yeah.
The house, hey, HOC. Shouts out to Drea. And I came to this motherfucker, bro. I taught every Sunday, but I was in a little small back room back there. They cleaned that room up for me back there. It was probably mold and everything back there. I don't know. But they cleaned it up. Brother Olmec was there at the time. Cleaned the back room up for me and said every Sunday I can teach back there, bro. I had 3 people every Sunday. That's all I had. 3 people every Sunday. God is my witness. But I was teaching like I had a room full of motherfuckers. And I wasn't posting nothing. I wasn't going live, none of that shit. 3 Sundays in, the 3rd Sunday I came to House of Consciousness, there's about 40 motherfuckers outside. And Drea was like, they're here for you. I said, what? I didn't advertise nothing. Just word of mouth. Now I'm out in the big area of the House of Consciousness. I'm commanding the floor, teaching every Sunday, 4-hour lectures, 5-hour lectures. All I had was a dry erase marker and a whiteboard. Teaching. I'm gonna put pictures on my TikTok, just teaching my ass off. All that to say this right here. I went through the Masonic Lodge. I went through Shrine, 43rd degree, Moore Science Temple. I helped set up Temple number 14 in Virginia Beach. Shouts out to the Moors, the L's and the Bays. I just kept studying, bro. I just kept studying, kept reading, kept studying. And I got my hand on, this is probably like 2012, I think it was. Ivan Van Sertima. They came before Columbus.
That one, oh man.
And when I read that motherfucking book, man, I said, oh man, we don't know about this place over here.
Oh man.
And that was my journey. That was my journey with the knowledge. And to your point with the filmmaking part of it, bro, like whatever we can do, we got to fucking fundraise,
Bro, we
go
got
fund me. It don't matter, bro. As a matter of fact,
you in New York?
let's do this.
I'm in New York.
Oh shit, I'm in New York too. That's where I'm at.
The most beautiful part about it, actually, while you were spitting, my brother, I'm actually a producer as well. So I specialize in video editing, shooting movies, shooting films, stuff
Listen,
like that.
there are no strange happenings.
The tribe,
There are no strange happenings.
Tribes is building up.
Mhm.
Hey, Chief, what's your cash app?
It's $ SSS 3SHEN K3AN Shan Khan. That's like
What's the last part?
Shan Khan. The name will be Shan Khan. It's actually the $ 3SHEN K3AAAAN. Shan Khan.
Got you. Gonna put that
That's the name of the production, my film company.
There it is. Hey, y'all already know, man. Drop some coins in the bucket. We about to get into it. This shit about to go crazy.
Nah, bro is really a producer though.
The
That
fucking
just took
views
me
going
away.
crazy. But hold on, because I'm so fucking excited. I always talk about my people in the comments first. But I shot the whole list out real quick. My boy Bruce Lee always in the fucking building, man. Always, regardless. Bruce Lee always in the building checking in. And Bruce, I got your email, your inbox, I think on TikTok too, about the whole repentance situation. I got you, bro. I'm gonna talk to you about that too. You already know. Kilo in the building. Pen and pad. Y'all already know, man. This is not for entertainment. Take notes. Grab your pen and your fucking pencils, your pads. Take notes. We're not here to entertain y'all. And as I always say, I can't speak for them brothers, but speaking for myself, don't believe a word I say. I'm not here to convince or persuade none of y'all. This is just information. Go do your own research. Then this shit becomes something you know, not what you heard. Take notes. Please take notes. Solo in the building. What's happening? Critical thinker checking in. Oh, bro. Y'all already know. Listen, it's about to be crazy. We got the chief in the building. It's about to be crazy. Chief said earlier backstage, all he wants is question and answers. So I need y'all to drop the fucking questions in the comments right now. Like, start now. I'll read the comments. We gonna build and talk, but if y'all got questions, put the questions in the comments. I'll put them up here, and we'll let Chief go in on it. Islam, Moors. The L's and the bays are the wheels and the ways. They say the L's are the creators and the bays are the enforcers. Peace and love. Listen, everybody got pen and pad, man. Everybody know what time it is. Oh, we got Jeremiah in the building. It's an honor for you to be here, bro. I ain't been seeing you lately, but listen, I'm glad you're here. Who else in the building? Okay. Mesquite.
Nahuwale, the Muskogean aristocrat. That word, Nahuwale, that means something. Okay.
Nahuwale.
That means something.
Chief, are you familiar with this?
Not so much, but as far as the statue, I'm pretty sure these were eventually the first group of our ancestors they ship out to Europe. They were the one that went out there and built Europe, and they become what you call, some of us will identify as indigenous Moor or the Mer, but there's two versions of Moors. You have Moors from Europe or / Mauritanian Africa, and you got actually indigenous Mer, which is us, or you want to call Washuta Moors.
Washita.
Yes, the first groups of us, they shipped to Europe. So the real slave trade happened in reverse. So they literally took our engineer. They were not, pretty much, they were not shipping our people because of none other than you think for servitude. They were shipping our engineer to Europe to go help Europe. So we were agriculture going down there. We were engineering going down there, including blood. So we were the first blood donors because Europe was dying in the fastest pace. So pretty much that statue you're seeing here, that's why all over Europe, you're going to find a lot of indigenous with like feathers. These were the first group of us that went to Europe and built Europe. And also the architectures, with a lot of buildings in Europe is our architectures pretty much mean the free energy buildings. So we were the one that bring that knowledge down to Europe. And that's why you'll find a lot of architectures, including statues with indigenous people with feathers on and all that. Yeah.
I was going to tell you to pull that up, that land of Mu. Definitely out of Mu. People got to understand that one, man.
Listen,
as soon as Chief had mentioned the Moors and he spelled it M-U-U-R, oh, he's talking about these people over here. Because we used to hearing about the Moors from the Iberian Peninsula.
The Berbers and whatever. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Berbers. But this, like I've been telling y'all, and I had the Empress from the Washita down in Louisiana. I pulled up the interview. I had her on here, and she's probably in her 80s. And I didn't know that the Washita Moors, M-U-U-R, they're registered with the United Nations as the oldest. This is real. I pulled this shit up for you. They're registered as the oldest people in North America by the UN. It's a valid number. God damn.
It could very well be because listen, man, that's a whole lot that they buried, bro. Because understand when once the indentured servant become in power and they violate all our treaties, the first thing they start to do is confiscations and start to delay and changing everything.
Right.
And I will not be surprised, bro. I will
Right. Right.
definitely. And I think the map that we are seeing, they actually hide a lot of stuff out there in the map. So I still believe
Oh yeah.
in the area what we call the triangle, Bermuda Triangle. This is actually a full blown island out there, but they have different jurisdictions and they don't allow to be revealed to the public. So
It's a
this can
fraction of Atlantis. That's a
yeah,
fraction of
yeah,
Atlantis.
exactly, exactly. This is a no-fly zone area. This is why they
Hmm.
created the story, telling you that Bermuda Triangle things be pulling down there. It's a form of a boogeyman for you to not going out to these areas. So it's no-fly zone. I still believe, which is fact, because in voodoo, it's not a story. That's what we know. Back in time, we used to when we say back in time, we're talking about before 1915. A lot of our ritual, we used to go to these areas and doorway open, and a lot of the chief, or we want to call them priests, they used to take them underwater. Now the underwater is not underwater. They take them to the inner earth, to the area that you call the Bermuda Triangle. And this is just fact. That's what I know, what they saying out there and what we know based to our culture and ancient knowledge. This place is still active and they strike a deal just like they have it with Antarctica. I still think this area, same thing, no fly zone, and they want to make sure they're not revealing to the public. Yeah,
And Area 51 and the Grand Canyon. Let's keep.
facts. You
You got to
already
add them
know.
to there.
There
You
you
got to
go.
put them with that.
Yep, yep.
All no fly zones. It's funny too, bro, that we
Damn.
talking about mood too though, because when we get into the nitty gritty, like I brought on the channel before, majority of the migration stories for a lot of the southeastern Indians and some of the northeast come from the far east. They don't specifically say what land, but they say they came from the far east and found their homes in Mexico. So if you look at this second map that the good brother Minister Information got up on the screen, that map it kindly shows the route they would have taken to get over to Africa, thus proving that, like you said, my brother, we, the Mers, the Washitas, came out of America in the reverse slave trade and
Facts,
populated that side of the world. Not
facts.
populated, but basically brought education to them, brought
Right,
cleanliness to them. The stuff that we
facts.
see in the history books that they say the Moors brought to the Europeans today, that's the stuff that we provided to
That
that.
rebring it exactly. That we are those Moors, not the other
Yes.
way around. That's the point we want to make sure we clear that. It's true. Fact.
Absolutely. So listen, we got Tall's Hike, I think it say. Greetings. By recommendation by my brother in Guyana. So listen, we screaming internationally. We're outside the 48 colonies right now. Just to put it in fucking perspective for y'all. We're screaming outside the 48 colonies. So this is international at this point. So the information we dropping tonight is going everywhere, literally everywhere, like the map we're showing you right now. So, as a good brother mentioned, the Moors in Mauritania were Berber-related Moors. And you guys can please keep me honest, because I'm listening to y'all talk. And Copper Color King already know it. For me, it has to be put in time and space. It has to be put
Oh
dates.
yeah, timestamps.
If we can date it, then that helps shift the paradigm, people mind frame. For example, you was given the story that ancestors were shipped out of America to Europe, which was the first form of slavery going over. I just talked about the second Atlantic slave trade that took place that nobody talks about. I mean, like nobody talks about it at all. I've not heard one person, TikTok, any otherwise, talk on the second Atlantic slave trade, which was called the Second Middle Passage, or the domestic slave trade in North America. The domestic slave trade in North America, when it first kicked off, they transported over 85,000 so-called Negroes, Indians, out of the northern part of North America to
To
the
the
southern.
southern part.
Yes.
Mm.
Because 1808, they outlawed international slave trade, period. So there was no more slipping nobody from nowhere over the seas. Pretty sure they still snuck and did it, but not to the magnitude they taught, right?
Right.
It was because of the Pan American movement was born right after 1805 by the Haitian government, and they have the majority of the ship because they win the war and they seize a lot of ship from the Britons. So they have a coast guard completely locked down the area, so nobody can ship our people anywhere, and that's why they end up stopping it. So we were powerful folks, man. We were no joke.
Damn.
Nah, just talking about it though, and I'm happy you mentioned that though, Minister, too, because in a lot of the articles and books that I've read, you hear it a lot frequently, like they were bringing tribesmen from the north to the south, and then when you hear these stories of these tribesmen escaping up north as if they was going to new lands, these niggas was just running back to their family members.
Facts. These are the original
They were
Maroon.
just going back to their cousins in them, and I'm reading in there's an article called Intertwined Colors of Red and Black in the Slave Trade or the Enslavement in Louisiana. And in the article, the author is talking about how in Louisiana, they brought over 350 slaves, right? From Philadelphia, New York, New Jersey, and close to Canada. These people could have been swarthy Frenchmen, right? Aboriginals. Many different groups of people, but they stated in the article that they were bringing people from the northern part to the southern part. Like you said, everything after the 1800s. So
This is what to me, based on what I know, these were not our people. This is eventually, these were the indentured servant trying to discharge the debt. And most of them was running with $5 to see if they can get that debt reduced to $5. And they were the ones flooding. It was not us. I mean, man.
yeah. When you wanna correct it like that, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That was them.
Hold on. You're saying that that picture I was just showing, right? These were the $5 Indians?
That's how the $5 was what they think the discharge of the debt would have cost. So a lot of them was fled and trying to go to our territory, thinking that we can discharge the debt for them.
Oh.
Because indentured servitude, they were still pretty much they would still have their debt in London.
God,
or
right.
if they come, what part of Europe they come from, they still have their debt. The outstanding debt was still there.
Because the indentured servitude
man.
was basically something that what they did in Britain with the indentured servitude is that they was making people sign over their labor rights just to have access to America, just to get over here. And you have a lot of poor whites going into Louisiana, especially in the 1800s, coming on these indentured contracts. So another drop for you. You going crazy, Chief. I ain't gonna lie.
So let me jump in real quick. This is fucking, y'all have no idea how exciting this is to have a conversation with people who know what the fuck going on. And you ain't got to break everything down. These white indentured servants, before they came over to North America, now there were some who came on their own. That was called the pilgrimage. And the pilgrimage took place due to the fact that they modified the King Henry Bible, or the Geneva Bible got altered. The Puritans got pissed off. Prior to the Puritans getting pissed off, Europe is going into what's called the Dark Ages. Famine, pestilence, disease. So later when we talk about these Europeans bringing diseases over to the Native Americans, now we know where disease come from. They've been sick. They're sickly people. They were actually dying off. Their time had expired actually on the planet. They were dying off as a species. So a group of them came over here on a pilgrimage. These are the Puritans, the Quakers, the Brownists. Those are religious fashions. Now they still need extra hands to help build the land. So in Europe, the form of government was called a monarchy. Under a monarchy, they had what's called manors. We call them cities or states. On these manors, they had serfs We call them citizens. So these serfs were bound to the land for life, to work. In exchange, they took some serfs. The serf belonged to the feudal lords. The feudal lords were called the knights. We call them sheriffs. That's why the word county means conquered land. They county everything, then build the boards called state to put you on the manor. So them coming over here to work was nothing new to them. They were already in bondage of servitude already. They didn't make them servants. They were already servants under the monarchy. There was no classism, middle class. No, nigga, you had money, you didn't. That was it. At that time, in that time frame in Europe, we're talking about 1500s on past 1800s. Because shortly after Europe started finally getting into the slave trade, they industrialized Europe into what's called the Industrial Revolution. Textiles, factories, which then gave their colonies the idea to start building factories. The problem they had, though, the southern half of the country wanted to do agriculture. And them doing agriculture, the demand was more cotton, more tobacco. They needed more laborers. Now, this kicks off what's called the Second Atlantic Slave Trade. This is 47 years after the 100-year Indian War, which started with Chief Metacom.
You hear me?
This 100-year Indian War kicks off because these Europeans are now invading land. It's not their land. They killed off the so-called Native Americans. I'm saying that for a reason. On the East Coast only. Pennsylvania, Virginia. That was it. Hold on. Pennsylvania and Virginia. Those are the two main territories that begin to invade on the land. I'm going to say this and wrap it up. One way that they got in on the ancestors was by birthright. We hear the story of Pocahontas and John Smith. That was them entering their seed into the bloodline. The second way was just by pure force under the Virginia Company and the Philadelphia Company under land charters. And these land charters were granted by King George at the time. The last one given to the East Coast was to set up Georgia by way of James Oglethorpe in 1784. So I said all that to say this right here. There's a vast history of these bondsmen and bondswomen coming over here to North America working. Because I can also show you the Redlegs or the Irish who worked in the islands first before the Europeans came to North America.
Hold up. Before you even continue, big dog, I want to elaborate on that. If I can get that blessing real quick.
Oh, please.
Yeah, so as the brother minister was just saying, I actually just learned not too long ago. A lot of people don't know this, but the first forms of slaves or indentured servants in Jamaica were Black Europeans, Irishmen.
See, can I just one couple words? The people that was in charge was not even white. These were Black Europeans.
Yes.
That's how they happened to infiltrate us, because we would trade with them at one point, because it's not only, and it was not the first that actually come to our shores. So we see their melanin as a form of familiarity with outside traders.
So all skin ain't kin, baby.
So they were not white folks. They were Black Europeans. So just we know that part.
You saying they're
Black Irish, Black Portuguese.
Yeah. All of them was melanin. They were swarty. They called them swarty. Pretty much mean mulatto / darker skin. White, pale white people was not in charge. It was not a part of the nobility at that time.
Big facts.
They swarty. Swarty. That's how they call the darker skinned people.
It's SWARTHY, big dog.
Say it again.
SWARTHY. Swarty. Yeah. Swarty. You see, it say like the copper. It say copper under it. Look at the black face.
See, they show you black face. These were the Moors.
Let's talk about this, Chief. What's going on here?
You see the red cap
story?
You see the red cap?
No, the whole ensemble, Chief. What's taking place here? Who are they mocking?
Nah, I mean, it's not a mockery in a way. That's the honoring their ancestors. But, we living in a timeline. We living in a timeline where blackface supposed to be racist because they pushing this white supremacy agenda to the point where psychologically, once you see that, you're supposed to feel like, okay, you inferior, or look what they doing to you. But in the flip side, they are honoring their ancestors. That's
Yes,
what they
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's all that is, man. It's a tribute.
exactly.
I've never thought about it that way.
Big dog, look at it like this, right? I was watching a
That makes
video
sense.
about how folks in Louisiana now, when they celebrate the Mardi Gras Indian celebration, one of the brothers was explaining how it's not per se to say that they're Indian, but they're paying homage to the people who existed before. These folks are doing the same exact thing. That's why you got folks like Putin who could open the vault and show y'all, like, yo, all of these people were copper colored. They
This
were
is
all
why they
copper
want
colored.
the reason why they hate Putin is because Putin don't clearly go all the way with the Great Reset. The Great
I mean,
Reset is pretty much mean destroy all ancient artifacts, ancient buildings, ancient scroll. He never did that. And this is why he was deemed after the Soviet Union, because the Soviet Union was eventually the beginning of the Great Reset for complete Russia. But Stalin didn't do that all the way. And that's why they all deem Russia as a threat, because Russia have things that can change the entire playing field. With the map, they have the original map, which they call it the Tataria map, including what he just did. What he just did eventually is a war. People don't notice Putin playing the image war. He did that against the Jewish people, the Jewish people. That's an attack to
Jewish.
tell them.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's trying to tell them, look, this is how the real one look. So this is a
Yeah.
jab at them. That's all it is. It's not because he's so much trying to show he love. Nah, this is an image war taking place because they understand whatever it's time for war, we as original people, where we put our energy to, whatever side we chose, that's what's gonna happen. So therefore, he make his first step to tell us, look, I fucks with y'all. Look, I show the world we always been worship people that look like y'all. So now he capture all the energies from black folks all over the world. So therefore, the ish people now is in trouble because now what he just shows, he shows you that it's not y'all. Definitely, that's all it is.
The true Jews.
And what I want to add value to this shit is write this down because we're taking notes. I know we're doing a lot of talking. I want y'all to take notes in this shit. What Chief just explained is something called iconocladism. Iconocladism. And I'm gonna put the date to the word here in a second and make it all make sense because there was actually two resets when it come to European religion or history. And like they say in the Moorish Science Temple, we have to return Christianity back to the Europeans because that was created for their salvation.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna keep the Bible, we're gonna keep Jesus, they belong to us. But the idea of it, so this is called iconocladism. When you take an image and you break an image by constantly showing it and you destroy other images. This happened with what's his name? Ptolemy. When Ptolemy came into ancient Egypt at the time by way of the Macedonian Alexander, he did the very same thing called iconocladism, and he created something called Serapis Christos, which serves today as your Christ.
Your Jesus.
This is the same thing that happened. So that thing that Chief just explained is called iconocladism. It's literally taking an image and pushing it on the population. It's called advertising or ads today.
I was about to say they do it in movies. They do it in movies now to push to the black community.
Man, Hollywood is the biggest.
You know what I mean?
biggest
Like,
weapon, bro. The biggest
baby
weapon.
mamas, gangs, drugs, put it all
Bro.
in that same bubble.
Man, that's the area we really need to put all our might to, bro. If
Yeah,
we
man.
not, we're gonna lose it all, man. Because I don't know if y'all know this, Hollywood, because I mean that's my focus. The majority of movie that's been coming out for the last 3 years is heavily indigenous movie, but they put the fake native in there. It's because they are watching our patterns, so they trying to renew the psychological imagery because they notice that we waking up. So they are renewing the cycle, and they keep doing it. So it's very important for us to actually materialize what we are saying now, because none of us do anything about that imagery wise. We need to make. I have a music video I'm about to make out probably in the next 4 months. I'm gonna make this all the way indigenous. We need to materialize what we are saying. And once this happens, it's over. Because now we're gonna live in the psyche of our people. Now we're gonna vibrate into our reality for sure. But that's the point. Every movie lately, it's been nothing than these fake indigenous people. So they not playing. Now they just have like 3 new shows coming out. They are what you call them Western movies about cowboy, and all is about indigenous going to war with these Western people. And all of them is those fake Euro Asians that have been introduced in the early 1800s to replace us. And that's what they pushing again. So Hollywood is just ready to go because they watching what we are doing right now.
Now, let me ask you a question. I also read where they were introduced to the culture in the 1800s, but there are a few tribes that go back past the 1800s.
Well,
of these Mongoloids who came across the Bering Straits.
I can give you one right now, and they call them the Allegui. Yeah, they call them the Allegui, and they inhabited the northern seaboard of America. Now, they say that these people were here ever since the first Aborigines were here in America, but they got forced northward into Canada. Those people now will be referred to as Eskimo. That's what they said.
Put it this way. How can they call themselves indigenous when Alaska was bought by the U.S. from Russia? So if it was not for the U.S. buying it from Russia, they don't have no status. They be Kazakhstans. They be Siberians.
But
that's the point. What I'm trying to tell people, the only way to identify what is what is to always going by the artifacts, the architecture, the civilization, including the oldest bone. In Haiti right now, we have a rock that's dated 150 million years old. So how come these people gonna deny us? These folks, all they have is Hollywood, bro. They don't have any artifacts predate their existence. They don't have
at all, man. Actually,
God damn,
Minister,
bro.
throw up in the
Hold on. I've never seen any of their artifacts. Gee, hey, we can end the whole goddamn call right there. That's it. It's over.
Yo, it's somewhere crazy.
And as soon as he said, I'm thinking like,
yo, no. The only thing they got for us is these images right here. That's all
it.
they got.
Oh my God, they have.
He just went crazy though. Y'all gotta see my face, man. I'm crying right now.
And you can tell that they're Mongoloid.
You can tell.
They all came in the trend-specific slave trade, bro. These were the coolies, man. Listen, these were the trend-specific slave trade, the coolies. They were a lot of Filipinos they bring here with Chinese, including what you call
I
Japanese.
didn't even know. I didn't know nothing of this. You just brushed.
Listen, cop. Listen, bro. I think a couple lives ago I said they teach us to look off the front porch, which is the East Coast. We never look off the back porch, which
this is where it really happened. It happens in the back.
Now I know they had the British, Dutch, West India companies over there doing their thing or whatever the case may be, but trans-Pacific slave trade? That means that would even answer the question of why we got so many Asian people on the West Coast right now, other than the migration.
Well, there are areas out there in that's the fucking Peloponnesian, Micronesia Islands.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He went crazy. Like, that's crazy.
Right here. So now, Dr. York had said, and I researched, looked it up. He's telling the truth that a man by the name of Ho Shan from the Ming Dynasty,
right?
They came over on the Bering Straits, which is the little small land bridge coming down to Alaska. They amalgamated. There was an empire Khalifa Empire out there already in that area, and these were the descendants of the Olmec. He said that the people from the Ming Dynasty amalgamated with the original people, call them Olmecs on the West Coast, and this what gave lineage to Toltec, and then you have I think Toltec, Mextec is next. Then the Mayans and Incans populate out of that bond of these Mongoloids mixing with the inhabitants called Olmecs or Moors already here.
Yeah, the Moors.
Do you know anything about that too?
Well, to me, what I believe, because it's proven, if you're looking at the Chinese wall, right? We went there. It's different. People they call the Olmec, we actually ventured the entire world. So we went down there to Asia, and they were the one that built the China Wall, the great Chinese wall, whatever. They were the one built it, because these were master builders. And the reason why you saw the little mixtures of Asians is after the invaders happened. And that's why we went down there to build the wall in China, because we don't want them to come here.
Wow.
Man, listen.
Yo,
listen.
what?
Listen.
Wait, hold on. So that means the terracotta warriors could be Olmecs?
Yes.
Huh. Big drop. Y'all heard that, right? Make note of that.
And this is why they were moving to come here, because we know there was the enemy we was dealing with. That's why if you're looking at the Olmec, one of the painting, you're gonna see we grabbed them by the hair. These are ancient enemies. They were the first. The Asian was the first enemies we ever had, and that's why we built the China Wall, to block them from coming all the way here.
I mean, they are the original cavemen.
Yeah,
technical.
The white man was graphic, because that's what you call the white man, is a dead Asian.
Hold on,
Asian.
Y'all fucking me up, bro.
Nah, he's going crazy, bro.
No, but
they are Lucy. The
the shit
they're
making
talking
so
about.
much sense in my head right now. It's making so much fucking sense, because these people right here are similar to the people in Iraq and Iran. They have no ancient lineage. They just got here. They're called Tejectonide.
Right.
They're an
Like
amalgamated group. Like they don't have an ancient culture.
just like the people over there in what you just said in Arabia and all of that. They don't have no
Ancient
prehistoric root. Where did they come from? You can't really identify.
You don't have artifacts. You're supposed to have an artifact that tie your culture in order to predate what's happened. They don't have artifacts.
Real quick, Minister, right? And I'm a piggyback off of Chief, right? Type in the search bar Los Decalogus Stone.
What?
LOS space DECA LOUGES.
LOUG.
No, it's together. It's one word together. Let me make sure I'm spelling this right. The Los Lunas Decalogue Stone. Sorry. LOS LUNAS.
It's a moon.
And then DECALOGUE.
DACA.
DECALOGUE, yeah. Stone. Just take a look at that stone. These are some of the artifacts that were left behind. This was in New Mexico. Now, some anthropologists or archaeologists compare this stone to what could be the modern day 10 Commandments, bro. Mind you, this shit right here is as old as most things you would find in here in America. It was a part of some of the mounds that they blew up. They blew up some of the mounds, and within that, they found Bat Creek Stone, Los Lunas Decalogue Stone, mad different artifacts, and these predate any arrival of any Native American, bro. So Chief got a point. You gotta have some type of artifacts. Type in Bat Creek Stone. This was found over there by our people. Minister. Chief, where your family come from?
IET. IET.
Haiti.
Oh, right. He said it. Haiti, yeah. IET,
Haiti
right.
today. The real name
Haiti.
is that's the kingdom name. the tribe, pretty much mean the land of the pyramids. Haiti
Haiti.
have the most pyramid in the entire Caribbean put together, but it's all covered
Europeans
in
call this.
vegetation.
But look, check the Back Creek Stone,
And
right?
Domingo. Mhm.
You see the stone
These
you
are some
showing?
of the.
You see what you're showing right now?
Yeah, yeah.
They found the same handwriting right now. The same thing you are seeing as far as the writing style. They find one right there in Miami. They blew up a building. In the bottom of the building, like they found, like they was digging stuff. They find artifacts that actually predates close to 1 million years, and they have the same handwriting with this. Here in Miami.
Right. Bro, he dropping gems, and they say that this handwriting is supposed to be similar
Yeah,
to some type of
Miami. There you go,
writing
right there.
script.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, bro. They finding mad stuff in these mounds. Giant bones, right?
But you got to
Old
understand,
Bibles.
the Maya was in Miami. That's why they call Miami. Miami is Maya. The Maya's there. That's why you find the style, the same Maya style you saw all over Mexico. That's the same style these Miami boys is doing. Same hairdo, the gold teeth, the same. That's why they call Maya. Because remember, Miami, that's how they usually call people. Like if they want to call you an indigenous slur, they call you Mayate.
God damn.
They don't even know.
Let's throw it
But
out there too. I want to give Chief a big shout out real quick. He come from Haiti, right? Jamaica
Yes.
and Haiti, as far as my knowledge, those
Same
are the
tribe.
only two places that kept close to their ancestral names. Jamaica
Jamaica and
Haiti.
Haiti. Exactly.
Yeah. The Maroons were
vibration,
over there in
everything.
Jamaica. Yeah.
But this is why, if you know about Haitian history, that was a Jamaican that moved down there. His name, they call him Bookman, but he was not a book. He was a Moor. So he carried the book with him, what you call the Quran. So pretty much the connection of the Taino and the Harawak is the same group of people, same tribe. And that's how we were fighting as tribes.
This
And
map
we move
right
on.
here is very interesting. When you click on highlight the word Indigenous People of the Americas,
Facts. That's
it's like
the
a
name.
skin graph. That's the skin map, bro. It's the skin map.
this is very interesting.
They got mad at these too. If you Google like maps that associate the equator with skin color, they got mad at those. But you see what's different about this map? You know, the equator would go through the middle of the earth. Technically, that's where the quote unquote darkest people
So,
would be. But you
These
see on
are
that
not
map,
these are not indigenous.
no,
No,
not
th-
even.
But they are native. They are native.
Well,
There's a
if you
difference.
now, I know the difference, but still, these folks are descendant of Coolie, man. They are the descendant of Chinese slaves in South America. How
Now-
you would give these people the status?
Now, these people. Now they say that the Mayans disappeared. They said, was it the Mayans?
Of course, they're gonna say they disappeared.
Now they said the
Listen.
Olmecs,
Listen.
the Olmecs disappeared.
The Mayans went to Cambodia. Those are Cambodians. Same people. I promise you.
Of course, now I think they extended their culture to Cambodia, but
Okay.
we still here.
You have bits of the Mayan culture over there in India.
All of this, what you call Vishnu, all of this is all part of one culture reaching out to the next one. Because one
Yeah.
thing for sure, we are
Shout out
always
Chad Chief.
identified.
My bad, Chief.
We always identify with hair. This is why when they show you Shiva, he got locks.
So now, these are the Maroons. What about the Caribs?
See, let me explain
Oh,
the Caribs.
man. Don't get me
Now-
started.
Once you talk about the Caribs, you got to understand what they mean by the Caribs. They mean by pirates, because we were fighting with the outsiders at sea too. And one thing about the Caribs, because they always trying to make you, bring the idea that we were cannibals. The Caribs was straight up soldiers.
You heard that, Minister?
So what I want people to know, we were not cannibals. We eventually become the hunters. Because if you're gonna win a war, you gotta turn to prey. Like I gotta see you as food. Because you got to know that when we go into this revolution, we burn all the plantations. So we don't have food. So now you become my food. That's why we win. Because now you, to me, in my eyes, you the only thing that can keep me surviving. So I got to eat you, bro, because we become the jaguar. In voodoo, we evoke the spirit of the jaguar. That's your Black Panther. The movie Black Panther is true life story. He
Big
becomes the
facts.
panther to protect his territory. So we
Just like
become
Wonder
the
Woman.
cat.
So does Black Panther represents the god Bess out of Egypt, or is it something?
Nah, it was not Bass. Bass is a cat. Okay? So that's the jaguar power. That's what he represents.
Dang.
So I learned though, right? As I'm doing my research right now, Carib is a term, like you said, cannibals is a term that they often associated with people who were cannibalistic. But
No,
those people who also were cannibalistic were also sun and moon worshippers. They were pagans. At least from my information.
just put it this way. Just say that we are the same people, but we have different divisions of military. So this was our hit squad that will go to the very end to win a war. So they called that group Caribs, but they were not like, oh, this is a group of people. That's what they do. They just this was straight up military that know that look, they're just like kamikaze. You see how the Japanese will send a group of kamikaze to just explode themselves at you, straight up suicide. That's what these Caribs were. They were known as pirates. They're going to war, and they will do whatever it takes to win the war because they don't have supplies sometime at the boat. So if we kill the enemy, that's food to survive those long trips.
That's a fact. You know what? You're not telling no lies, but I got another question. I actually heard that too because they had a sophisticated style of invasion. The way they would invade and repel against British and the European forces, straight up different. I'm gonna bring that to the channel sometime soon too, though. But I heard that you have two different archetypes of Caribs. You have some that they refer to as red Caribs or yellow Caribs, and then you have the black Caribs that quote unquote came from Africa. Let's talk about that a little bit more.
I'm glad
Nobody.
They are the Garifuna people, though. They end up becoming the Garifuna people. It's funny that you mentioned that, but yeah, Chief, what you got for me?
What I mean, like, nobody come from Africa until the 1900s.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'll go back on that a little.
Now, what I mean by that, I'm talking about transportations of bodies in large amount numbers. That's what I mean. I'm not saying that no Africa ever traveled to here. I'm just talking about as far as bringing large numbers of bodies and just like, the transatlantic slave. None of this happened.
Until when?
Until
you
1900s.
said the 1900s.
Okay, well, let's talk about John Hawkins in the 1500s.
These were Europeans. That's the thing, because the term. Now, what you need to do, go find out when they start using the name Africa. When the name Africa will start to be used in textbook, what year they start using this name, then you'll know the truth. That's when you'll know the truth. These people were European. They all was European.
Damn. Bro fucking cooking. And I'm following what you're saying.
I missed it.
I had a conversation with an Uber driver.
Well, I ended up glitching out.
Great conversation with the guy. And we was talking about the whole out of Africa theory. And I asked him if he knew who Franz Boas was. He said no. I said, then we got to stop talking until you find out who Franz Boas was. These Europeans are the actual founders of what's called African history. Egyptology is a European ideology. It's a discipline for them to understand the ancient culture. And they still digging. They've been digging since they've been digging. They're still digging.
They only 150 years old.
And the more they dig, the blacker the planet get.
Facts.
And they can't figure it out. Now, Chief, I heard what you just said. I'm gonna go back to that. You said the European race is how old?
150 years old.
Yeah, you gotta explain that, bro.
The reason why they become what they are today in power is what you call genetic warfare. After the Confederacy War and after we win the war, we kicked out all these other foreign corporations. These indentured servants start to have children with us. And now some of these children, they inherit what you call land because we pass down the land to the next generation. And then from there, those mulatto children become what we want to call Native American. Now, those Asiatic you saw, they were not the Native American. These were the working force from the Trans-Pacific slave trade. But the original Native American was the mulatto children between us and the indentured servants. They become the Native American. So these children now no longer have babies with our side of our indigenous side. They keep having babies with the indentured servant side. Then they become completely white. And now that's how they end up create the corporation of the United States and also get the paperwork done to completely discharge and make them completely legal by having Morocco sign the paperwork and discharge every single debt they have with the outside European nation, like the Britain or other places. Now, these children now have the validation by tapping into our blood. Now they have the legitimate land grab because by term, they are our children, so they have ownership on the land. So now they're not having babies with us no more. They have only babies with the other side, which is their mother's side, and that's how they become the power you are today. I mean, they are today that you call the white people of today. 150 years of genetic warfare. That's how it
Does
happened.
this have something to do with the story of George Washington chopping the cherry tree? Something like
There
that?
you go. There you go. All of these are mulatto groups of children.
Yo,
Yes, sir.
yeah, he's going off, Chief. Chief is going crazy right now.
That's how it
That's
happens.
It's
yeah.
not. I mean,
The chopping of the cherry
hard to
tree.
believe.
The chopping of the cherry tree pretty much was like that
That's
moment in history that X'd out, you know, the MERS. It X'd us out for the most part.
he's explained the genetic warfare. See,
Mm-hmm.
that's why people get this all confused when they talk about Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln was not freeing us. Lincoln was freeing the indentured servant.
Right.
That's what they're not saying. Because
Hold
Lincoln's
on.
parents was indentured himself.
Hold on. Run that back. You said Lincoln was freeing the indentured servants?
Yes,
Yes,
sir. The
sir.
slave was never us. That was the the groups of people that he was descent from. Lincoln was the perfect, what I was telling you right now. Lincoln was half indentured servant, half indigenous.
And he freed.
The 40 acres and the mule. That's why white people end up having land today. He was giving it to these indentured servants.
That was
Okay.
a business deal. The Emancipation Proclamation was a business deal.
But it
Most
was
people
never
think
about
it was
us.
something that was done to help black people prosper.
Hold on.
It was a business
Hold on.
deal, bro.
Hold on. 1 second. Let me just keep the form. Let me keep the form honest. Let's do that. Keep the form honest, right? Because when we talk about,
This is not his original picture. This is not his real him.
of course,
He don't look like that.
he's super swarthy.
Yeah.
I've seen the pictures.
They actually have a name for that nigga. The dude right there in the picture, his last name is Phelps.
They
That's
don't.
not-
This is not
That's
how
not
you
Abe Lincoln.
So
Yo, this is the thing we got to think about. Like, right? We got to think like this man. He was murdered, bro. How is that we only have pictures like this that exist, but we don't see no other pictures regarding this man's history or his true form?
just like they
He's
did with
an
Einstein.
icon.
Just like they did with Einstein. They never showed
Yeah.
you Einstein real color pictures. Everything black
Yeah.
and white to
Yep.
hide the fact that he was biracial.
Yep.
So hold on. Let me just keep the form honest on the history side of the house, because y'all niggas cooking for real.
Nah.
Abraham Lincoln was the 16th president. This is American history in 2 minutes. 16th president, not fully of the United States yet, because they just went west 1849 for the gold rush on what's called Manifest Destiny. This is 61.
Shout out to Tartars, man. Shout out Khan.
They haven't got that big yet. So listen to this. Lincoln puts out what's called the Emancipation Proclamation, which two things. Lincoln is the president of the fucking Union. He's not the president of the South. So to hell what he talking about. He doesn't run anything down here. Who was the president of the South? My master students know this. My
It was a
disciples
black
know
man.
this. No.
No.
Let's teach history first. I'm gonna get to that part. I'm not talking about him yet. He comes after the fact that this president didn't serve his whole term. He got captured in Fort Sumter. Who was the president of the Confederacy? I'm gonna make it make sense for y'all in a second. Now, Europe is booming in what's called the industrial age. Now, Europe wants her colonies to have more factories.
But remember, what you need to know, all the stuff you're saying here was still as far as the birth of the corporation. So the U.S. was still a corporation because not all the state was, because remember, every single state in America is a tribe. That's why the name is not like European name. They don't have European name. All of them is California, Georgia, Utah, what you call it, Florida. All of them is tribes.
Alibaba.
So therefore, this is just a corporation of the United States that was taking place here. Remember, what Lincoln was running, like you were saying before, you don't remember the name of the president before him. Remember, we actually give them land to what you call to govern themselves on our soil. So they were given the jurisdiction to operate on indigenous land. This was not the nation. That was treaty signed already. That's what I was saying to you. So Lincoln was trying to get this done to make sure that America become what you call a safe haven for all indentured servants to show up. That's why they always flee in Europe to come here, because that's the only place indentured servant was free. So that's all it was. The Confederacy War was the union between us indigenous people, joined force with the indentured servant, and then we trying to make sure that we push the other what you call corporation from Europe that was out there, like you were saying, the industrial complex. You were trying to push them off our indigenous land. That's what the Confederacy War was, a union between those two. And I have the flag. I will show you the Confederate flag that they turned out to make sure that it's racist. In reality, was a flag of our 13 indigenous tribes come together and unify with the indentured servants and to go to war with the outside influence that was out there operating on our soil.
That Confederate flag, family, is called the Galactic Cross on that flag. It's called the Galactic Cross. What he just said is right and exact.
This is ancient Olmec flag.
So let's back up a little bit. And at this
wait, let me what's the name of the flag? Galactic Cross?
No, it's not a flag. That's what you see on the flag. It's called the Galactic Cross. So 1861 to about 64, the number one cash crop coming out of the colonies was cotton. Listen to me closely real quick, bro. The northern colonies was pushing 80% of the world's cotton supply. Why was that a big deal? Because Asia and India and Africa had already exploded with the Silk Road. Europe had no access to no supplies, spices, and none of that shit. That's why they was exploring, scouting, looking around, trying to find. They had nothing. In fact, when Europe first got the sugar cane from the islands, sugar was like cocaine to Europe. Look it up.
No,
ran crazy. They never had sugar before.
That makes sense though, because that we got like the creation of sodas and stuff, and two of the most addicting sodas of all time, Coke and Coca-Cola. I'm just throwing this out there. It used to have Coke in it. That's a white man's drink. I'm just saying.
But hold on, let me finish this point real quick. Now, to what Chief was saying, I'm trying to explain to y'all that Europe is going through an industrial boom. Let me cook for like a minute. An industrial boom. Now, Europe wanted her colonies to do the same thing because the Virginia Company, corporations, brother just told you that. Virginia Company and the Philadelphia Company was in competition with the British Tea Company out of India. This is all about fucking money.
I know, but it's the workforce that has to be doing it. The workforce was these indentured servants. Some of us was POW. Yeah. We were POWs that don't want for people to take over our land. And that's what the war was about. POW that's like, no, you're not going to profit on my land. And then the other group, which is the indentured servant, which was the workforce, that's like, hell no, I have an opportunity. If I help these POW to win the war, then guess what? I will have a land on my own. That's all it was.
I was telling y'all before, These were POWs put into what's called labor camps.
Yeah, these were
What he
POWs.
just said. Now, I'm talking to my disciples, my followers who really follow me. Y'all know I've been telling y'all that these are just POWs, prisoners of war, because the war was still happening. The War of 1812 just happened with Colonel Andrew Jackson, who joined forces with James Oglethorpe and James Oglethorpe's son, Robert Duvall. And they went and blew up goddamn Fort Negro to push the Cimarron or Seminoles, who had joined forces with the Yamacraw, the Yamansi, and the Gullah, to push them crackers off that land. I'm from Georgia. This is Georgia history. That was the cahoots with James Oglethorpe coming here, getting the charter from King James to settle the land because Georgia was infested with white runaways. And they squatted on our land. And when Andrew Jackson came through with what's called the Indian Removal Act and started pushing us off by just fucking killing everybody. And they went in and blew up Fort Negro, and that territory where Fort Negro is, in honor of Andrew Jackson, it's called Jacksonville. But they honored James Oglethorpe's son. His name is Robert Duvall, Duval County. For the commemoration, they fought the Miamians. They pushed the Miamians off the coast of Florida because Spain had already settled fucking Florida already. They pushed them up into Oklahoma, Arkansas. That was called the First Great Migration. The Second Great Migration would be in 1920, and the Third Great Migration is 1960. Of the indigenous people moving from south to north. But anyway, Europe, industrial age, wanted her colonies to industrialize. The number one cash crop was cotton coming out of the south. This was not the cause of the war. Cotton was not the cause of the war. Slave labor was the cause of the war. None of that shit was the cause of the war. Europe fueled the fucking war. The colonies had no money. There was no capital. The Union had $1. And the Confederacy had their own notes. There was no money in circulation. There was fucking piss poor. So Europe fueled the war. Europe did that shit.
They fuel all the wars, man, up until this day, even the world wars.
Facts.
Come on now.
Facts. So everything we telling y'all, keep hitting it on the fucking head.
Yo, you know I got a big drop for you too right now, big dog. This is it's very important to know this, but Chief Tuscaloosa, he actually fought in Fort Negro.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow. So, Chief, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Once they were captured, were they put on the same plantations with Africans? And were Africans actually here on the plantations working with the indigenous population?
I put it this way. African was never there, bro. African was not there. Matter of fact, let me just explain it that way, based on what I know, and to the Haitian, because when you're talking about slavery, the group that ends slavery, the group that win was the Haitian side. Put it this way, they all was Europeans. But if you want to bring Africans, I told you before, Africans start to show up in late 1800s, early 1900s. And these groups were known for mercenaries. They would never come here as slaves. These were soldiers that they come to reinforce the British Empire, the Dahomey Kingdom. That's where they go recruit those soldiers. So Africa was never in the conversations of servitude whatsoever. That's what I'm saying. So,
but you got people like what's the guy, the first black dude who owned the black dude? What's his name?
Anthony Johnson.
Anthony fucking Johnson. He was from Africa.
I told you, Minister, he wasn't African. That man was Portuguese.
Yes, he is. He's
they
fucking
said,
African.
remember, this is an agenda
Angola.
to Africanize everything.
Angola. He's from Angola.
Now go find out what is the all along when that name Angola come to be to an existence. Did you know the majority of the African nations, my grandfather knows than most of them.
They're new. They got one
They
called
new.
Gadon, and it was introduced in 1960.
That's what I'm saying. So you cannot really say Angola when that name is young. It's not
young.
matching the time that they said it's there. All of this is redact information.
Yo, Minister, Johnson got there after the Portuguese made their establishments in that area. That's when he got there. He was a rich man. He comes from a rich family. That's what I was saying.
They all was black European. They all was rich.
Oh my God.
These
I'm
were
telling
not.
you, bro.
No, I'm telling you the story. That's how they hide their track.
He was not. You know, I know it's true,
I
minister,
gotta chill
because
out, man.
when
Yo, they
to,
cooking in
Europe.
here, man. Y'all gotta share this shit, man.
Because he said Kumbo is a name that comes from Africa, because in Angola there's a land called Kumba. That was straight conjecture, and I called him out on it. How you gonna associate this man's last name with the body of land? That's what they did. But when you look at the name and you look up the ancestry, you learn that it's a Scottish last name. It's Scottish.
Let me read this real quick. It said in the early 1620, Portuguese slave traders kidnapped the man who would later be known as Anthony Johnson in Portuguese Angola.
They didn't kidnap him, bro. He is Portuguese.
Named him Antonio.
Just the
They named him
story
Antonio.
itself. Just the story itself is pathetic, though. How you just kidnap somebody like? Yo,
What's the story?
Let me put it this way, bro. Just let me just cook one little quick second, please. Let me explain this. Put it this way: just the ideology of slavery itself, bro. If you want people to work for you, would you destroy them? Would you beat them to the point how they tell us about slavery? No, because you want them to perform. So if you're abusing your stock, how are they gonna perform? So this is why I tell you, indentured servant was the truth. Because these people was not abused like the way they said they was abusing us.
Not even close.
If you're gonna abuse us to that level, like you show the world, that's how you deal with slaves. You want to know why you do that? Because these are POWs. That's your enemy you was trying to get information from. You see, the indentured servant was there for one reason, for us to teach them. We, the POW, was the one to teach them the land. That's why they was abusing us as POW, because they want us to teach them, then get rid of us, so they learn how to do it themselves. That's why the majority of the POW was women. The men killed themselves.
And you could also look up too how Anthony, in addition to his slaves, Anthony Johnson was a quote unquote farmer. He was a farmer. So where did he learn these farming skills from? You can't say he comes from an African land and be good at agriculture, then come to America and know what the fuck is going on.
It's not.
It's
impossible.
Two different bodies of land.
Two different bodies of land, two different food. Remember, America have the majority of the food in Africa was imported to Africa. 640 of our food was brought to Africa. So therefore,
and the animals.
Again, and the animals, exactly. So Africa is a foreign groups of people when it comes to the agriculture. That's why I told you the importations of Africa to come work our land is a farce. It's impossible.
I've been saying that, Chief. I've been saying the fact that how the fuck you from Africa and you've never seen peaches or pecans or cotton or you don't know what it is.
No.
There's no almanacs. Listen, there were no almanacs at the point. You know what I'm saying? Hold on real quick.
That's crazy.
Let me read this because I'll make a point with this real quick. It says, in the early 1620, Portuguese slave traders kidnapped the man who would later call known as Anthony Johnson in Portuguese Angola, named him Antonio, and sold him into the Atlantic slave trade. A colonist in Virginia bought Antonio as an indentured servant.
Right.
So why the fuck they said slave
bro?
traders? And what happened? He went from
Off
slave.
the rip, if he was a slave, he would have not been an indentured servant.
Facts.
That's the crimson flag.
It said Antonio worked for a merchant at the Virginia. I told you Virginia company was there, and the Philadelphia company was there too. He was also received into the Roman Catholic Church. He sailed to Virginia in 1621 aboard the James. The Virginia mustered census of the 1624 list named Antonio not given, recorded as Negro in the note column. Historians dispute whether this was the same Antonio later known as Anthony Johnson, as the census lists several men named Antonio. This was one of the considered the most likely. He was sold into indentured servitude. Somebody bought his bond. Because see, when they came over here under these serfs, under indentured servitude, it was a 7-year contract. and you can be bought out of your contract, you can be traded on your contract, or you can be called what's called manumitted, which is called a meritorious manumission. Is when they just let you off your contract. The fact that you're under contract under what's called indentured, you could be traded or sold at will. And that's what they
It's the
show
modern
you.
360 deal, bro.
Listen. They show you niggas on the auction block like they just cough them and sell. No, they're bidding off the stock. Who wants the paper? This is the material, but who wants the paper?
Bro.
And as the
Well, I
bro was
know.
saying, they didn't start lynching Negroes and beating Negroes way after what they're showing y'all. If I put you a slave, you will see nobody in the field getting beat at all. They're just at work. I told y'all they at work. They're working.
First off, right, I'm gonna point something out for you, right? We gotta understand who these merchants were. Those merchants were the Sephardi. Those were the copper-colored Jews from Europe. Those who those merchants are. We gotta understand that. That's number one. Number two, I'll break it down for you like this. It's the modern 360 rap deal, bro. So remember, I DM'd you the other day and I was talking about Louis Armstrong. I learned that his career was financed by Jews. He was basically submitted under indentured servitude under that family. They financed his contract for him to be able to get to where he was at that period of time. He would have never been who he was without that Jewish family. The same thing with Anthony Johnson. It's just that in this case, the people who sold over his contract were the Sephardi Jews. They wanted to make some money, and they sold it to the white planters of America, which gave Johnson the rights to come to America and become a multimillionaire himself. And at this time, the only way to become a multimillionaire was to be off the commodities of the world, which at this time were slaves.
I put it this way, man. What the slave trade they talking about in Africa only happens in Africa. So it was the Arabs selling the Africans. They would never come here. It was all over Africa trades, included in Europe. That's what's really happened. It never happens here. So the slave trade only happens from Africa to Europe, but never really show up on our shores.
Yes, sir.
That's
And
the
the
fact.
folks in charge of this
Let's be
slave
clear.
trade,
We
that's
got to
the
be clear.
merchants.
Hold on. We got to be clear. Are you saying that no Africans were brought out of the continent of Africa to America?
Only the soldier one, those that was recruited to help them fight. Yes, those. But the mass.
I mean, I don't know. I can't agree with that 100%.
Hear me out. For the record, no Africans came into Brazil or San Domingo or what's called now Puerto Rico. Like, no Africans came into that territory. Because last I checked, historical wise, I could be wrong, Haitians partly owe their heritage to the people in the Congo, who they call Shango worshippers.
So a lie, bro. Remember, when they said Shango, this is the tradition from here to them. When you said Shango worship, the Orishas is not originated in Africa. This is our practice to them when they shipped us to West Africa. See,
Chief, I got a drop for them. I got a drop for them.
Let me put it this way. The people they told you they took from Africa to bring here, these were not African. These were the first group from 1492. They shipped to West Africa that come back to avenge their land. I know it's gonna be hard for a lot of people.
You know what? One that I made.
You got me quiet right now. Right? Because hold on, Kick. Because my brain trying to recalculate and recalibrate history. Because what you're saying could be all wise, right, and exact, but my mind is trying to put timelines to what you're saying. I'm like, wait a minute,
man. Why would they rename Haiti after the revolution? Why is it not called Congo?
Exactly. Listen, let me give you one that even better.
Think
because
about it. If they just fought an entire revolution, revolution, and then the name of the country at the time was Saint Domingue, right? The Aboriginal name is Haiti. Why, after they win the revolution, does the name return back to Haiti?
That's the people who avenge their land. That's what I'm saying.
That's their land, bro. It's their land. They are, and in addition to the Black French who helped them, because we all know Toussaint He was a
But
mixed
understand,
Aboriginal Frenchman.
Toussaint is a descendant. He's a descendant of those ancient indigenous that they
Oh,
sent to
come
Africa.
on, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. And
They,
he won this. Him and his people won this war,
they wouldn't. That's because they
and
remember who they were. That's
they
why he
returned the
betrayed. That's
name.
why he betrayed what you call him Napoleon, because he
As
know who he was.
come on now, and Napoleon was the same one trying to get him to believe that he was an African. I'm
So
just saying.
think
I'm just
about it.
saying. What
You see, this
when
is
he
how
was over
long they've
there?
been pushing this African shit. You're right.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. As a matter of
It,
fact, I got it
listen,
in one of my books on the history of Haiti, and they talking about the French Revolution or whatever the case may be, and how Haiti got its Aboriginal name. It says it right in the book. They took the name from their ancestors and renamed it Haiti. Haiti, Ayati, same thing.
Haiti.
Haiti,
Yeah.
Haiti, same exact thing. It's like saying Jesus and Jesus. Don't
See,
hit me.
what you
Nobody.
need
Listen.
to
What's
understand.
even crazier? What's
I'm
even
just saying.
crazier? Listening to y'all talk. What's even crazier? My mind said, if they were from the Congo, why didn't they just go back to the fucking Congo? Why did they
That's
fight for
it.
some land? They could have just
Bro,
left.
that's
They could have
another
just left and went
question.
back
Why
home.
can't you go back? Look, another one to think about
Oh,
is
Exactly.
majority of their lands weren't conquered until what? The 1800s, right?
Yep.
Right? So
man, y'all
if
fucking me
if
up, bro.
if that's the case, if their lands weren't conquered until that time, they been came to America in the 1400s. They had so much time to go back to Haiti, bro. The Haitian Revolution was in the 1700s. They had about 30, 40, to go back to Africa. They had
Hold
30,
on.
40 years to go back, and no one went back.
Facts. But guess
They
what? Did you
stayed in
know
Haiti.
the name of the army? You know how they called the army that was winning the fight? Did you know how they called the army?
Talk to me, brother.
They called the army the Indigenous Army.
Yo, son.
Listen.
Yeah, I mean,
I have a question. But this brother said most Africans come from Asia and are black Europeans who got pushed out of Europe. What say you to that? Because to
I
me,
don't know.
it doesn't make sense to me. According to
After
what's
the
called
fall, it's true,
anthropology.
because after the fall of the Moors, after they lost the Crusade Wars, these mulatto babies pushed their parents out. Their parents was those black Europeans. That's facts.
But when we say black Europeans, what happens to the whole Homo habilis groups of Europeans that predate the fucking black Europeans, so-called?
Now, this is where we go back into this haplogroup idea, studying haplogroups and stuff. That's also why we can't really stay connected to the outer Africa theory. Because according to what this brother is saying, the outer Africa theory wouldn't really exist because they're coming from out of Africa into Africa. So it would be out of somewhere else.
See, one thing you need to understand, like I said before, we dealing with a beast, with a monster that spent years trying to find solution to rewrite everything. So all we can go by is based on these historical facts, pretty much mean artifacts, the art of the facts. That's where we got to stand by, because everything that he's been saying is not adding up. And this is why they pulling the plug on TikTok. They pulling the plug on TikTok because of what we doing here is happening in a major scale on TikTok. Information is being revealed. People start to put the 1 and 1 and 2s together. And that's why they got to pull the plug, because we facing another great reset. We waking up. And once you waking up, what they're afraid the most is the spiritual connection, because for years they spent like billions of dollars in propaganda to make sure that we have an African mind. And now what I mean by African mind is the connection with your ancestors. We spend a lot of time in our life believing that we have nothing to do with this land here. We ain't got no connection here. Matter of fact, you don't give a damn about nothing. And that's what they want, because if you start to reconnect with your ancestors in the frequency, in the thought pattern, by knowing who you are, by knowing where you're from, then guess what? This awakening that's just happening is because of that. A lot of us start to reconnect fast because we start to know and believe who we are now. That's why a lot of our brothers is receiving information in a faster pace. People don't take time to put 1 and 1 together right now. As opposed back then, you see this conversation we having right now, this conversation would have probably be in long ago. But the fact that we are, by knowing it now, we have this tendency to listen to each other even more. So now your know-how is it's clicking easier for you to see the truth. That's what they're afraid of. But it's over. It's happening. It's over. So,
well, listen. Again, my mind's still trying to adjust to the paleo groups. Like, they're actual paleo groups of Europeans turning into these albinoid looking people. Are you saying that
let me put it this way. There's two types of Europeans out there.
Yeah, it's definitely three of them, but go ahead.
Okay. One of them, the pale one, there's an albino versions of a pale ones out there. These are the Ethiopians. Okay, your Queen Elizabeth, they all Ethiopians. Queen Elizabeth comes from the dynasties of the Menelik and all of them. So Selassie and Mussolini, they all related.
She got black blood for sure. Well,
okay.
Her ancestors were of a skin complexion.
Fact. So if you never see an albino Ethiopians, he looks straight up like a white man. Yeah. And when you said Ethiopians, this is where the Dravidian come from. We're talking about those Indian people. Indians originated from Ethiopia.
Cook up, bro. Cook up.
So basically, if you saw an albino Indian, that's a straight up white person. So this is one group of white people. Then you have a second group. This was the genetic splice, the gene splice. They were out of Kemet. Remember, Africa was a skull island. This Africa was known to be an experimental lab. This is where we go experiment with gene splicing. So what you call the Neanderthal was the first versions of a group of soldiers that we were trying to build soldiers to go after other dynasties. So that's when we create the Neanderthal. So this is gene splicing. And that Neanderthal now have babies with one of us, which means a black woman did that though. She had baby was a Neanderthal. That gives you birth to the second group of white people. And I have those pictures and I have a bunch of stuff that I don't want to share it online because I get banned. I got my first account got banned because of that.
Man, bro, this is why we got to make a website, fuck the conglomerate, and put that shit out, bro. They not stopping nothing. We up. That's it.
Facts. So I can send you these pictures because it's documented in the Wall of Egypt. They have it in the hieroglyphs that the first monkey men, and they have pale skin and everything, that was going to war against us. So one of us.
I got an even more. My bad, Chief. My bad. Continue.
You can go.
I wanted to just point out how Kurimeo Ahu, I don't know if y'all familiar with his YouTube channel. Maybe. Yeah. All right, cool. So he was doing a Bible study. And in their Bible study is somewhere in the Bible that talks about how Noah was an albino.
I believe it might be in that context because look around. Look at the Indian albino.
Hold on, Coppercat. Keep you honest. You said Noah?
They said Noah was an albino. Yeah.
I don't buy into these biblical contexts, but I understand what it's trying to say in a way. The albino part.
I don't understand it because Noah's father was Methuselah. Methuselah is the same bloodline as his father, all the way back to Seth, son of Adam.
Right, so, but Noah got his albino blood. So if you read deeper into it, you would see how it talks about DNA mixes and the original man mixing with what would have been mankind, which is where Noah got his albino skin from. That's what they said, allegedly. Noah got his albino skin from something that was considered to be mankind.
Yeah,
so
the mankind is the gene splice.
Right, as I'm reading that and I'm going into it, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, wow, that would make perfect sense on how it would explain how copper-colored people are the original man and how cavemen, Caucasians, the wild men, those people are mankind.
Yeah, it's true. You're right. That's exactly what it is.
They are man. They're not man. They are mankind. And this is why when we mix with their blood, all of these crazy ass diseases start popping up. Did y'all know syphilis was a white man's disease?
Herpes and syphilis both.
They said, listen.
Syphilis was a disease that these niggas came out of the cave and started to give to each other because they were consuming one another. You know, blood.
Hey, look.
The blood.
These motherfuckers said it's one small step for man.
A giant leap for mankind.
For mankind.
Exactly.
We've been going to the moon, nigga.
Yo.
We've been on the moon, bitch. We put it up there.
Yo, that's funny though, because guess what? Chief and Minister, right? I'm watching the Predator movie. And I don't watch movies like that, but every time I do, I watch it to pull out a specific message. I'm watching the movie, and in the movie, the scientist basically hints that the Predator has human DNA. So the lady scientist, she looking at them like, are you dead ass? And they put out the assumption that these predators were fucking humans, bro. They were fucking humans. So when I think about it and I look at it, you think of that term, they're predators, they're aliens, flesh eaters, cannibals, stuff like that, cavemen, people that came out of the woodworks and was just eating whatever they could get their hands on. Cause like Chief said, they had to survive. Cannibals do stuff like that because they have to survive. They eat first thing that's
what I'm trying to tell you, there's two type of cannibals. You have people you have pretty much people that just know that, okay, it's war, and that's how I'm gonna win my war. So you become my food. So that's just different.
Let me ask a question real quick. Let's talk about this right here real quick.
And that's more like the white plague of Europe, bro. The white plague. The white plague, man. They do everything, man. That shit crazy.
Let's talk about European cannibalism.
The wild men.
Are you guys familiar with Count Dracula and his story?
I'm familiar with.
Don't he come from like a real person in history?
I'm familiar with Vlad the Pest, which you call
Vlad the Impaler. Right.
The Impaler.
Right.
I'm familiar with him.
But y'all do know his father was Count Dracula. He was a count. Listen to me. He was a count. He was the Duke of Earl. Listen to me. It was his title. Count, Earl, Duke, Squire. It was a nobility. His father
they all was Moorish though. That's all I know.
His father was Dracula. Now, Vlad the Impaler literally would do that shit.
But now, why he was doing, I know why he was doing. This is a ritual. Because understand in the ancient time, when you were dealing with dukes or you were dealing with any form of nobility, the initiation is if one of us die, we all got to drink each other's blood, so we reincarnated right back to each other. That's what it was.
Yep.
So the way movie turned it out to be is not what the secret was, because this is what the whole Jesus thing was about. When they said the blood of Jesus, the blood of Jesus. This is consumptions of blood in ritualistic manner to make sure that certain incarnation happens to be among us. That's why they show you Jesus was inside of a womb with 12 apostles. These are the people that's about to drink his blood. So if in case he died, whoever gave birth to a son, he might come back to that son. That's all it was. So
the fucking blood worshippers.
That's it.
Come on now.
The blood.
They turned a peaceful tradition into pagan worship. That's paganism.
Okay,
Easter, Christmas, all of that.
Listen, bro. We have to be mindful. On my channel, the people on my channel are very smart. So when you just shout out the word pagan, they already know that the pagans and the heathens are the ones who didn't conform to Christianity. That's what a pagan is. They didn't conform to Christianity. When the Christian church, through Christendom, tried to spread it throughout Europe, the heathens who lived in the hills and the pagans didn't convert to Christianity. So they condemned them, and that became a condemned word for those who don't convert to Christianity.
Right.
So when you say pagans or paganism, right, everything pagan is the way it's supposed to be. That's the right order. Everything is pagan. It's just like Chief told you earlier, it's the iconoclasm, the pictures they put behind it. They put the bunny rabbit laying eggs. A bunny rabbit is a fucking mammal, live birth. They put the egg in the bunny rabbit for you not to know what the fuck going on, but it's all esoteric. It's all ancient science. It's all rituals. And they put it right in your face because it ain't going nowhere.
Right.
So the pagans didn't want to do that stuff. I'm sorry, the pagans kept to like Wicca, the ancient ways, burning fucking pine straw, eating turmeric. They stayed that way. That's the point I'm making. So when we say stuff like that, be mindful.
Yeah, the pagan was more like holistic levels of lifestyle. So they stay away from the doctrines of the book. Yeah. So they were considered holistic in a way.
That is true. I agree 100% with that, but we can't forget about the fact that how most missionaries, when they came over here to America, those who were cannibals and who were practicing inhuman sacrifice and stuff like that, they considered them to be pagans.
Now, you got to understand, the majority of people that came here that do that, these were people that was already in prison in Europe, they sent these savages here. And most of them, as far as cannibal, it was a form of surviving. So they don't have enough food supply within the trip. So whoever died become food, because what are you going to do?
Now, I mean, the people over here, they said they encountered people over here who were practicing in sun and moon worship and sacrificing babies, eating babies, drinking their blood.
Now,
they considered them to be pagans.
I think it's just a misnomer, or probably they misused that term.
Has been
but
misnomer.
I think whoever doing stuff like that, you cannot be a pagan doing that. You belong to a cult.
I get what you're saying.
Cult will have a name. But pagan, usually that name pagan means you don't believe in their doctrine. You don't believe in religion. You just someone without a religion. So that
makes sense though, because the Vikings, in that sense, they were the same way. They didn't believe in Jesus Christ and all of that. They wanted to believe in the Norse and Odin and Loki and all of that. So that makes sense.
Now, people that you call Vikings, to be exact, these were the ancient Greek people. They were Greek people that left Greece and because of war. And these folks also, the Vikings was not white people. This is another thing that you need to know. These were not white people.
They were black folks. A lot of them was black folks too. That's a fact.
So I mean, this is just, I'm telling you, what you call white people is not a race. It's a condition of life. And that condition called albinism, uncured. So they didn't cure the albinism problem. So they start extended the mutation by only having babies with themselves instead of curing it.
I had to write that one down.
Yeah. So
that was tough.
So it's 150 years of uncuring a disease. And from doing that, that's why they are the minority of the world, and they becoming extinct because they practice a dead culture, and that dead culture called white people. The more white people having babies with each other, they limit their capacity to exist in the future, and this is why their birth is 0 right now. So it is what it is.
Hold on. I'm just sitting here ready to jump in and add some fucking value because y'all motherfuckers cooking.
Actually, y'all just told me something, bro.
So I'm gonna jump back into history. Give me like 2 minutes uninterrupted to cook real quick, brother. I promise my pastor Mike back.
Do your thing.
But we have to learn eugenesis. Now, eugenics was an operation in North America in the late 1800s. It came during what's called the Third Great Awakening. First Great Awakening was the migration of immigration of the Puritans and the Quakers and the Brownses with their religious jargon. They ushered in a second Great Awakening. And then the Third Great Awakening was between the 1880s and the early 1920s. Jehovah's Witness came out of this shit. Everybody came out of this shit as far as like belief system goes that we have now in America, right? Baptists, Pentecostal been here, but Methodist was a big thing. Prince Hall was a Methodist. Benjamin Banneker was a fucking Methodist. By the way, Benjamin Bay or Benjamin Banneker is Benjamin Franklin, by the way.
Whoa, stop right there. You dead ass?
We'll go back to it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, bro, do you remember? I just told you I
Chief
wanted to
just
do a
told
video
you.
on
Listen to me. Chief just told you we were already in operation over here. We were
Right.
already in operation, full swing.
Benjamin Banneker
Now,
is
listen to me.
Benjamin Franklin. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Listen to me. They
No,
keep showing y'all
it's
the power. Listen to me. They keep
Yo,
showing
what's
y'all the
going on?
They keep showing y'all the powwow Indians with the teepees. They just got here, nigga. They're not gonna show you over here in the East Coast was with Ben popping these energy centers like Atlanta,
Tataria, baby.
Philadelphia, Chicago. These are energy centers for a fucking reason. Back
They
to what I
call
was
these
saying.
area World's Fair
Hold on.
when it was not.
Back to what I'm saying.
So hold on.
Let me finish, bro.
Yeah, finish.
The late 1800s.
Hell, bro.
The late 1800s. You get something called eugenesis, or what's called eugenics.
What the
Eugenics is a
hell, bro?
worldwide belief that they could perfect the human beings and eliminate so-called social ills, or what they call benevolent, not benevolent people, but what they call dauntage people of society, criminals, basically through genetics and hereditary. This is the European or the Flugeroids trying to reintegrate themselves before they die out again, because they're not supposed to be here that long. Listen to me. Niagara Falls, New York is where the first eugenics clinic was started. Write these names down. Eugene Fisher. Look up Eugene Fisher. Now, we can talk about everything else, but this is the shit, the guys, where we are now as a people. History is perfect, but the present is also important too. So this started a reduction, so-called, in the black population in America, the indigenous population in America again. Now, the Trail of Tears wasn't shit compared to this. The Trail of Tears ain't nothing compared to this, because y'all know they say the Atlantic slave trade was one of the biggest Holocausts. The Trail of Tears was a bigger Holocaust, displacement of families, right? Now, eugenicists, like Charles Darwin was a eugenicist. Did you know that? That's why he came up with the whole theory of evolution. That title is much longer.
Yeah,
The survival of the fittest.
I was just talking to my cuz about that, and I was just saying, like, yo, that's they really put that idea out there for us to really believe that their form of monkeys is more superior than us and men. Mankind is more superior than man.
Write this man down right here, y'all. Eugene Fisher. Eugene Fisher gave credit.
The Nazi Party. Okay.
Listen, Eugene Fisher gave credit to North America for showing them how to exterminate the Yahudi people. I don't say their name on here.
The Yahudi, those are the folks from Africa, right?
No, I don't want to say Jew. That's what I didn't want to say. Just listen to me.
Okay.
So Eugene Fisher gives Margaret Singer. She came over. They had a conference in Switzerland. This is like 1939, 1941. Margaret Singer links up with it's called the American Birth Control League. Let me show you real quick. I'm past the mic. The American Birth Control League. The American Birth Control League in Niagara Falls, New York, is where they started at. They linked up with Margaret Singer. Margaret Singer began to propagate the reduction of so-called Negroes. It was called the Negro Project, to reduce the population of the indigenous population, to increase their population, because in the early 1920s, the immigration from Europe came again. Ellis Island. They tried to outpopulate us again, and they were losing the fucking battle. That's why Love versus Virginia was so important. That's why Abbott Placker with the one drop, they trying to box us out genetically.
Facts. And guess what? They doing it right now with this migrant crisis.
Hell
it's not a crisis. They doing it again.
And they also, I mean, it's all political. It's all political at the end of the day. They want to overpopulate the majority in the country. We can't even believe that we the minority anymore, because look at how far they going
we were never the minority.
Us. Never.
We were never the minority. This is why every single war, we always be the one win them.
Right.
I mean, if we the minority, why they care about our vote in the first place?
Right. Why do they need us?
Exactly. So if we supposed to be 13%, we don't dictate what happens in white America, right? It's a lie. We always been the majority.
Right,
That's
right,
why
right.
we've been 13%. It's all a game, man. All a game.
Listen,
Carnegie Rockefellers funded Margaret Sanger along with Henry Ford, Alexander Graham Bell, and Dr. Kellogg's. Ooh, big drop.
Big drop.
Big drop.
what
Big
I'm trying to
drop.
tell y'all is the brothers are cooking on the history. I'm showing you the history progressively, what's called through socialism. Now, social engineering is about to happen to the so-called indigenous folks.
Facts.
This is, watch the timeline real quick. We're still in the 1920s. We're just about 80-something years from so-called Emancipation 65. It's not that far off. 1865 and 1920, from the time slavery supposedly ended to the time Noble Drew Ali was born, wasn't that much time, family. It was a half a generation being born. One generation, as a matter of fact, got born between 65 and 1900. It's one generation. So it wasn't that long ago. So they're now trying to get rid of the indigenous population once again, because at this time, late 1800s, early 1900s, Polish people and Irish people could not get along. The Italians hated the fucking Irish. The movie called Gangs of New York, it's a real scenario.
Oh,
True.
yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That scenario ended up sparking one of the biggest fucking riots in New York, where they went to kill off all the so-called Negroes who were merchant seamen.
What you talking about, Willis? I'm a New Yorker and I don't know this. I feel
I'm about to
ashamed.
show you, bro. I'm about to show you, bro.
Nigga got me embarrassed to be a New Yorker right now. Oh man. And I love my borough, my city. Sorry, my state. But
New York used to be the capital of America in the Haitian era.
Now,
now why you say that, Chief?
this
Everything
is
in New York was already built. New York was not built by them. New York was already built. Like Brooklyn Bridge was built in 1700s.
Wow.
That's why they can never rebuild. Like if you ever see the constructions around the bridge, it's patched. They didn't build it. It's all a little patched up.
I mean, I knew Central Park was like a
Seneca Village.
right here, bro.
I knew that.
Bedford Stuyvesant was built by Negroes.
That's where
Brooklyn.
I'm from.
Brooklyn. You ever heard of Mr. Weeksville?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole situation.
Get the fuck out of it. You know what? Let's stay here. I'm a student right now.
Founded in 1838, 11 years after fucking slavery ended in New York. I told you it's not that long ago. So what they telling you all these Negroes was in bondage getting beat? No, they wasn't. Them niggas was running the fucking government over here. I can prove it to you.
That's the point. That's what I was saying earlier. Like I said, when they said slavery over, it was never us.
Bro, for real.
Wait.
This was the Irish. This was the Italian. Those are the people.
Now I knew about that, but I'm 27, bro. Like I don't know how.
Listen to me.
This is
to
crazy.
Me, listen, become a master student for a second.
I'm here.
Founded in 1838, 11 years after slavery ended in New York State, Weeksville was a long-lasting and thriving community of self-sufficient, free. Never were slaves. Ever, never were slaves. These were the same people who crunk up the fucking Freedmen's Bureau under the War Department later. They gave you the 40 acres. The mule was never included. The mule came later. And they were just telling those Oklahoma Indians to come back to Georgia. They ran away with Andrew Jackson. Y'all can come back now and get y'all fucking land. They're like, we good. Some of them came back. Some of them didn't. These are the Yamacraw and the Yamansi. Look it up. They came back. Like, fuck it. These are agriculturalists. This is the same reason. Watch this. Founded in 1838. Crown Heights. The landowner in West Coast today, Crown Heights and Bedford Stuyvesant. Do you know who founded a whole fucking territory before him? Another fucking Native American. Sorry, indigenous person.
Bro, I just want to bring this to my mom. So just give it to me. Like, pause. Just let me see the information. I need to see it.
Hold on. Right here. Watch the date. Watch the date on this shit. That was 1838, I think it was. Watch the date. It was founded as an independent black community in 1887 by former slave, digit servant we know now, Isaiah Montgomery, Mound Bayou. This is 1887. This is a few years after slavery. Few years. All of a sudden, now we have whole towns and communities. This is before Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Facts.
Tulsa wasn't even on the map yet. And Tulsa was an Indian reservation, by the way.
I was about to say, yeah, that was Indian town.
That's Indian. It was a reservation.
All them
That's why you
folks was
gotta talk like
Indian.
that.
Those was Indians.
So
Oh wow.
back to what bro was saying, right? Been here, been building shit. New York is old. It's
old,
New
bro.
York to them. They call it New Amsterdam when they got here. New Amsterdam. Everything with the word new on it is old to us, but new
it's
to
old
them.
to us. Yeah.
They
That's
went back
when the Dutch was the first group to actually came here as Europeans. But Nueva York after that, other groups, but we been at it, man. We built New York. We
Yo,
built
yo,
all
that
these
make
bridges and
mad
everything.
sense because I'm reading in one of my books too. They said that when I'm gonna call them Vikings, the Northmen, the Northmen, when they came to America in 1000 AD, you know, they came to what would be the northeastern coast, and they said that when they was in cities like Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, they seen an abundance of like things that added in color to the landscape, not just grass, not just grass. They saw many different things that from high tech stuff, high tech advanced stuff. I'm gonna get the page and bring it to the channel one of these days, and
That was
buildings
fact.
or mounds
So
that go almost 80 feet
just
tall.
like for an example, when people talk about Tesla, Tesla was born into that civilization here as somebody that was into the culture. It's not like he was inventing nothing. This is what the style of living was. So he was just another engineer within the civilization. It's almost like you were for Con Edison, but everything's already there. It's not like he invented nothing. This is because white people trying to make you think like, and also Tesla is not white. He's biracial too.
Right, that is true. Yeah, that's a fact. And we got somebody just put a big drop in the comment section. They said that's why they were burning all of our towns down after they got freed from slavery. That's a big fact.
Fact.
I got some information on that
That's
too.
big drop right there.
Yeah,
Facts.
they burned mad towns down, sundown towns, slave breeding plantations. They turned it into slave breeding plantations, wild different stuff like that. They was burning shit down left and right, and that actually caused the big migration or the great migration up to the northern
You know
states.
what I never hear people talk about, bro? I never hear people talk about the
The Reconstruction period.
nobody talks about that.
I think other than myself, you're the only other person I heard mention it.
Nobody talks about the Reconstruction here.
Nah,
This
for real.
is
This is a
look,
big time in history.
take your pen and paper. Everybody listen real quick to me. On your piece of paper, put when, the word W-N, the word when, W-E-W-H-E-N, when. And you're gonna put where beside that. When 1867, the outline terms for the readmission of the representation of the rebel states. The bill divided the former Confederate states, except for Tennessee, into 5 military districts. This was a war power act. This was the War Power Act. Watch this. Watch this right here. The Freedmen's Bureau. Remember, that was 1867. Remember that. The Freedmen's Bureau provided assistance to tens of thousands of formerly enslaved people. Now, they didn't say slaves. They said enslaved people. What's the difference, Minister? Glad you asked. Enslavement is a system. Slave, a person that says slave, is in bondage under various reasons. These are the enslaved people. They never named the enslaved people. They never said who they were. They just said what? Former enslaved people, impoverished whites, and impoverished whites in the southern states in the District of Columbia and the following years of the war. This who got together. This who got together. Right. this who got together. They say 4 million. At no time was federal government more involved with African Americans during the Civil War and Reconstruction period, when approximately 4 million slaves became freedmen. Now, freedmen is not a free man. Freedmen are a people. Freedmen are a people. Watch this. Watch this. A freedman or woman is a formerly enslaved person who has been released from slavery, usually by legal means. It had to be legal. Historically, slaves were freed by manumission. I told you that earlier. They all have what's called they have vested interest on these properties. Watch this. Etymology of emancipation.
According to Wikipedia, the term emancipation derives from the Latin emancipo, emancipatio, which in turn stems from e manu capere.
This is what happened. This is what happened. During the so-called Emancipation Proclamation in 1961, everybody who was under those bonds, those slave bonds, everybody's under those slave bonds now got transferred over to the state. The bond got transferred over and they became state's property
of the state.
or wards of the state.
Oh.
And voluntarily, you enroll your native children. Now, your children come out of the womb, they have no nationality. The United Nations already said every child is guaranteed a right to a nationality. All of them. So when they come out of the womb, nationality-wise, the word nationality comes from the word NATO, which comes from the word kin. Her bloodline or your child's bloodline is the native status. You voluntarily sign over your child's native status and enrolled under a certification. Now, certificate and the word registrar means the same thing. You abandon responsibility. And this is what happens. So slavery, the system of slavery and the system of enslavement, those are systems, not people. Those are systems. I can show you real quick because Juneteenth coming up. I have a whole PowerPoint that's about fuck Juneteenth. And I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to tell you why. It may ruffle some feathers. I don't care.
Fuck Juneteenth. We don't care.
Watch this. General Order number 3. Now,
according to National Archives, Gordon Granger issued General Order Number 3, which informed the people of Texas that all enslaved people were now free. Granger commanded the headquarters district of Texas, and his troops had arrived in Galveston the previous day. This day has come to be known as Juneteenth, a combination of June and 19th.
Gordon, if you don't know who Gordon Granger is responsible for legalizing prostitution in Tennessee.
Don't change that, big dog. I'm screenshotting it.
Listen to me. Gordon Granger is responsible for starting prostitution in Tennessee.
He was Jewish as well, right?
I'm not sure about his nationality, but I'm telling you what he did in Tennessee.
Okay,
now,
okay.
Memphis, Tennessee becomes known as the pimping capital of the world. Go look that up. Gordon Granger issued General Order number 3. Now, Gordon Granger is also with the Freedmen's Bureau, but under the War Department. So everything that gets issued in the 1860 after the fucking Civil War is a military order because the whole entire South is under what's called martial law. The Union don't trust these niggas yet. No, hell no. Wait a minute. Because you have black politicians running Mississippi. I can show you that in a second too. And the same black politician took over the presidency for the president of the South. I'm gonna show you your first black president of the South.
I want to see
John Henson.
Hold on, let me take a picture.
No, we're not talking about John Henson. No, bro. We
Okay.
don't know John Henson.
Is it George White?
No.
All right, I'm gonna stop guessing.
No.
Right.
I asked the question earlier. I said, who was the president of the South?
Oh, Jefferson Davis.
I'm trying to tie this shit together for y'all. So now Jefferson Davis was the president of the South for 1 year. 1 year. That's it. Jefferson Davis was in the fucking Union. He left the Union Army and became the president of the Confederate Army. The Confederate States, period. And because he understood the tactics that the North was going to try to push on them. That's why you get what's called the Ironclad Wars. This is history. The Ironclad Wars pop off because Lincoln blocked all the ports from the cotton getting out. down in Louisiana. He blocked the ports in Savannah, Georgia. He blocked the ports in South Carolina, and that triggered the war. It wasn't about no goddamn working class people being made to work. So that's why you're gonna
crazy.
That's why you're gonna keep seeing words like enslaved people, and they're not gonna tell you who was enslaved. They'll never say the enslaved Catawba tribe or the enslaved Yamansi tribe or they're supposed to be naming the people. They name the Jews. What ain't naming the people? Because they keep you. That's the illusion of the word enslavement. The word slave comes from the word Slavs. Those white Europeans who are already over here. Enslavement is the system that they ran on the Slavs.
They were actually a Japhetic tribe too. That's the crazy part.
They were what now?
A Japhetic tribe. That's a whole different thing from my Bible study I be having going on.
So listen. Now you get Gordon Granger comes to Galveston, Texas. He reads General Order Number 3. I'm gonna pull it up. We're gonna read it together real quick, and I'm gonna show you why Juneteenth is a fucking hoax. And what really happened was the newly freed slave people joined forces with the freedmen in the community, and the freedmen were teaching them how to vote for legislation and continue the government under our jurisdiction. But the white boys had something different up their sleeve. They said, no, let's scare them from voting. And that's when you go back to
what you see today.
That's when you go back to Tennessee and you get the Birth of a Nation kickoff. Watch world history. Birth of a Nation kicks off. Birth of a Nation was the first movie shown in the White House. It's in black and white silent film about the violent, vigilant, dark-skinned people in America. And that set the tone for the Ku Klux Klan to even get started. To start now the lynching and the beating starts in America. Not back then, you thinking, not during then. No. They need them to work. I'm not gonna beat you. No, I need you to work. That's it. Just work.
What's so tough about the KKK too is a lot of people don't notice though is because before they were even called Ku Klux Klan, they were called Whitecaps, and that was a group formerly known to be mixed with both black and white people who went around lynching other black people who had some type of financial wealth.
Okay, did not know that. Did not know that. Here we go.
White caps. They call them white caps. It was around the time when Republicans and Democrats were still being called Whigs and Tories.
Gotcha. Here we go. Juneteenth is based on this one paragraph right here. Let's read it out loud real quick so we can learn something tonight, right? It says, the people are informed that in accordance with the proclamation of the executive of the United States, all slaves are free. There's a period. That means you stop reading. Now, a lot of folks ran off the plantation right then and there. They took off running. They were gone. And a lot of them folks got caught up later under what's called the Fugitive Slave Act, which means you had to be returned by bounty. This is what the movie Django is about. See, movies like Django and movies like 12 Years a Slave, they're talking about the 1800s only. They're not talking about the supposed slave trade from Africa, because it never happened over here, like the bro told you. Now, Amistad, those movies show you the Africans getting traded in the Caribbeans, if any. But those were just the native people getting traded amongst each other anyway. There were no Africans brought over here from nowhere.
Facts.
Now, they say 19 Africans landed in Hampton, Virginia. 19 of them landed up there. They were on what's called the USS White Lion. Now, those were Africans. They actually came out of Africa, but they were not slaves, though. They were just on the boat, helping out. Because back then, there was no black and white people. There was no race. You either belonged or you didn't.
Business as usual.
Watch this business paragraph. It says, this involves absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property, talking to the white planters only, between farmer, master, and slave, and the connection herefore exists between them become employer and hired labor. They just said, let's stop saying slave master and let's say hired labor. Let's start saying employer. Let's stop saying slave and start saying the word what? Hired labor. This is the general order that was read in Galveston, Texas, word for word, that y'all celebrating Juneteenth. They just gave y'all made your employees. This made y'all fucking employees. That's all they did. And then we can go right to the 13th Amendment. After this happened, these are executive orders happening. We haven't gotten to civil rights yet. Those are just Indian rights. Basic, can we just live and leave us alone? Type shit. All right, y'all kicked our ass for 400 years. That's the 400-year story, because if they tell y'all we've been slaves for 400 years, the country was not built 400 fucking years ago on slavery. That was servitude. From Europe, Europeans, that had nothing to do with our story. So we haven't been enslaved in 400 years. That's something that RBG out of Africa group, including Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey, the biggest threat out there, boy. I tell you, man.
That's why W.E. Du Bois couldn't stand him. W.E. Du Bois like, nah, you got to go with that shit. That's why he went right.
He's the number one. I'm not even gonna lie. And people used to get tight at me for saying this. When I was in high school, I've been calling him a fraud. Ben.
Well, it's not that he's a fraud. He's just trying to get his people back to where they want to, back over there. And they like, nigga, we ain't from there though.
That's the thing. Like you introduce this country of Liberia, and then you tell us like, oh yeah, let's go back to Liberia. That's just another form of colonization.
But listen to me, bro. People like Marcus Garvey, they learned from the brother Deuce Muhammad. I can show you who that is. Deuce Muhammad was the first brother in America with affairs on. And Deuce Muhammad taught Noble Drew Ali. I come back to this shit. Let me show y'all some cool shit real quick.
Yeah.
because Noble Drew Ali was taught, watch this, Deuce Muhammad Ali. Deuce Muhammad Ali. He's the teacher. He is the teacher. He is write this down, everybody. Deuce Muhammad Ali, teacher. So if he's the teacher, who is the student? Noble Drew Ali, Egyptian student. Boom, student. That was the teacher. This is the student.
But he even said he was Cherokee, bro. So right?
We ain't got there yet.
But
we ain't got there yet because we already know that his mother, Lizzie Turner, Noble Drew Ali mother, Lizzie Turner, was not Cherokee. Noble Drew Ali parents.
One of them was Indian. I saw something like that about
they
one of
both
them.
were Indian, but you just got the tribes wrong.
Okay. You
just
got to show me that they was Wichita, then that's what
I'm about to show you they Wichita. Hold on.
Wow.
His parents real quick. Now his daddy, watch this. Noble Drew Ali parents. Now his father was I want to say Natchez, but his mother, Elizabeth Turner, was his father, Lucy Drew. Watch this. James Wright Drew and Lucy Drew. Oh my God. 1886. Look at the timelines, y'all. 1886. Oh, they're not giving us this tonight, huh?
They give you Drew Barrymore and
You saw that shit? All right, here we go. This is what I wanted right here. The actual fucking article. Get the fuck off of Google. So his father and mother both were so-called Native Americans, right? But what you get is his mother, Alicia Turner, is akin to the Turners out of Louisiana, who are the Washita Moors. So Noble Drew Ali is part Washita. And the vast estate he was talking about is the territory from the bottom of Louisiana called Poverty Point all the way up to Chicago. That's land that they seized without authority from those tribes. That's the vast estate that they're talking about. Under his mother, the matriarch. Now, his father, Noble Drew Ali's father, was he wasn't a chief, but he was in a tribe out of North Carolina. And that's the fucking truth. This whole article talks about that, and I'll find it in a second. Noble Drew Ali leaves. He goes over to Egypt. However he got there, there's various stories how he got there. However he got there. Some say he traveled with a circus or so on and so forth. But he got over there. He was initiated into some order while he was over there in Egypt. This is the story of Noble Ali. He was initiated over in Egypt. Watch this. Where is Deuce Muhammad Ali from?
You ready? Who dance on? Now to go to my second job. My house. My second job.
There you go. Deuce Muhammad Ali is from Egypt.
What's yours? Oh my God.
He is from Egypt. That's why the story of Noble Drew Ali going to Egypt to receive the information was by way of this gentleman right here with this fez on. And this fez right here, this cap is what's being taught to say that these Moors are the same Moors who came over from the Iberian Peninsula. These are the same ancient Moors. So when the chief was telling you about the Moors earlier, which is a different group from the Moors, this is the split. And you correct me if I'm misspeaking. You can correct me, but the Moors with the fezzes on that you're used to seeing, those Moors were part of what's called the French Foreign Legion. They're part of the French Foreign Legion. There were no ancient Moors, how they teaching y'all about the fucking Iberian Peninsula and 7-Eleven. Man, nobody had no fezzes on back then. That's all falsehood. That's false. And I stand on business with that. That's false teachings. On his head, there's no tassel on it at all. The tassel came later. That was something that was Americanized, the tassel. This is called a tarbouche, not a fez.
Oh, that's what you was explaining to me before, right, bro? When I showed you my great grandmom, she had the joint on her bean.
Tarbouche. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Anyway, that's 1912. 1912. Let's go back in time. Who was Hiram Revels? This is Hiram Revels. I showed you Mound Bayou. Isaiah Montgomery founded that shit. I showed you Mr. Weeksville up in New York, 86, I think that was. This is Mr. Hiram Revels. What's important about Hiram Revels, Mississippi was the same location that Mr. Isaiah Montgomery founded Mound Bayou at, by the way. Mississippi is supposed to be the most racist state in the South. Supposedly, this is right after slavery. Look at the timeline. This is 1870s, 1826, 1886. Then you have Blanche Bruce comes right behind him. You have Joseph Rainey right behind him. Then you have people like Robert Smalls right behind them. All black senators. Hiram Revels finishes the term of Jefferson Davis for that 1 year, making him the first black president of the Confederacy. Hiram Revels. Go look him up. That's why you can't say the first black president of America. Hell, what's his name? They say was the first black president. John Hanson. That's why y'all get. This why y'all get argued at. Y'all say that John Hanson is the first black president of America. No, of the United States. No, you're not. No, you're not. I'll argue anybody. John Hanson was not the first fucking black president of the United States. He was not. He was the first president of what's called the Continental Congress. You have to understand your time period. Stop saying using the word like America. United States. It was no United States at that point.
Right.
It was not yet. They barely had 32 states, barely pushed 32 states. The Missouri Compromise just got passed in Missouri. They can't figure out if they want to be a slave state or a free state, which kicks off the whole court case. But the black dude who got denied, what was his name? He got denied his freedom in court, Supreme Court. Dred Scott. listen to the timeline, 1860 to 1923 in America. That's the entirety of so-called African American history. If you want to know African American history, 1886 to 1925 and North America. That's all you got to fucking study. And that's just the first degree. Study that first. And all this stuff will make sense. Everything that Chief said up to this time makes sense. My mind is blown. My mind is blown like, damn, that makes sense. Because in my mind, because my mind is subject to psychoneurosis also, okay? My mind, I'm subject to psychoneurosis. I thought the whole time these were Europeans doing this. But I'm like, there's no way these Europeans can come from Europe. And I studied European history. They just came out of the Dark Ages, bubonic plague. How did they become so powerful so quick and took over a whole fucking country? They never took it over.
Yeah, you just gotta
You
send them out.
assimilate to it by genetic warfare. That's all. And we doing it right now in our on what you call them in our entertainment industry. Most of these ball players with foreign women or with white women. Look what just happened with Michael Jackson. All his estate going to a bunch of adopted kids. And now these kids gonna have babies with people that look like them, and they become the legacy of the Jacksons. And that's how the war. That's the real war, genetic warfare. But
Mind you, the Jacksons is Choctaws too.
yeah, I mean, Michael Jackson showed you the Black Panther when all of his movie he transformed to the Panther. I mean,
Right.
he already show you what if you know, you know. But he
That
done
the,
told
the
you.
music video when they dressed up in the Egyptian costumes and all that.
Facts. And a
Yeah.
lot of people was not peeping game. We were thinking like, okay, Black Americans trying to be like African, but this was to marry in a way. He was showing you this is straight up to marry. The
Yeah,
first
the
East.
motherland, the real motherland.
Man, I tell
Well,
you.
I heard a brother say that Africa is the motherland and America is the fatherland.
Nah, America is the all right. You know
America's
what?
the
I can
motherland.
understand why they say that because
The
from
seed come out of the
everything
father.
that comes from America goes into Africa. So it's like we the seed and they the womb.
Right,
They birth the
right.
lives, but we create the history. I can understand that.
But man, listen, man.
But this the real motherland.
I'm gonna have to bounce, y'all. I appreciate 2 hours.
Me too.
We
Yeah,
can
me
do
too,
this
bro.
another time too, man. So
Absolutely.
count me in the next time. I
Appreciate you,
definitely
brother.
will show up. I appreciate the space. But you
Absolutely.
know, I mean, man, it was a great one for the first time, man. So
Absolutely,
let me
man.
know.
Hey.
Let me know.
Shit went crazy. Hey, family, go check out my man over on TikTok. Chief, want to tell me TikTok real quick?
The Angry Chief. That's the same name I have right there.
Angry Chief on TikTok. You see the Cash App bottom of the screen. Hey, man, salute. Thanks for your time, bro.
Hey,
We
my
did
man,
rock
listen
out.
here, man. I don't want this to be the last time, man. We gotta
Oh, it
meet
won't.
up. I mean, I think because there's a lot of stuff we can do, man. A whole lot, and I want to make sure that we build, man. Because the film stuff, I'm into it. So let me know. I'm gonna send you some of my film. You'll see it, then you understand where I'm at as far as that. Because a lot of people told you, yeah, I do this until you start watching it. Like, what the fuck? Like, nah, I really do this in the highest level, though. So, no bootleg stuff, like 2B looking at, styles of shit. Because I've seen how people enjoy a lot of primitive ass shit on TV. I don't know, man. They done do a work on our people, man. We
Man,
think
for real,
like
for real.
looking like mediocre shit. That's what we like. That's the brainwash of what they done to our people, man. And it's just a lot of efforts, a lot of fight, but we got to do it, man. The film is just the last straw to really make big changes in our community. To film, man.
Big dog,
tell
where
you
can I
what,
find some of your work?
Go to X Lab TV. It's on my YouTube.
X-Lab TV.
Yeah, X with a dash, Lab LAB TV. And then that's like, I've been on YouTube forever. So all my work is in there. There's a huge archive. There's a bunch of stuff in there, man. So you'll see it, man. I have like 5 episodes so far of a web series. They're called Blood Pool. I have a lot of documentary that I made in there too. So, it's a good place to
So
see.
is it a specific name I gotta type in? Do I type in Angry Chief? Anything like that?
Now, Angry Chief is for TikTok. And this is my actually second TikTok. My first one, they banned my first one. And this is the second one, the one I have right now. So the Angry Chief is TikTok.
Hey, Chief, I want to say something real quick. My TikTok been running weird as fuck lately. And I heard somebody start to talk about there's so much information on TikTok dealing with the indigenous people that it's causing like an algorithm alert type shit. Like, oh shit, like it's almost a rebellion amongst the people. So like anybody that's really pushing the narrative of any other agenda dealing with genetics or just population wise, whatever the case is, they shadow banning niggas now.
Yeah, it is. Lately my videos on 1-2 views. Like real talk.
Yeah,
It
like
is shadow.
I got a video on my joint. M.O.I got over 500,000 views. The one to the right, the one with Felicia Rashad on it. And then my other ones do pretty decent. Here the last week, I'm getting like 5, 6. What the fuck going on?
Nah, yeah, you really just gotta, the way it's working is you really just gotta switch it up. You gotta be posting like outside of your algorithm and inside. It may mess up the flow, but that'll definitely stop them from banning the channel. I know a couple brothers who gotta get into with that right now.
Man, they fucking us up, bro.
Bro, that's sad, man. If you know, you got to get your account. Like, yo, this is so fucking sad, G. Your account being banned from posting truth. Like, it's not even hurting nobody. You just
With that being said, though, right? Minister is actually working on creating a platform where all of us brothers could get together and congregate and talk about this type of stuff. It could definitely branch into a production website, things like that. I mean, I already told the good brother, I got family down in Georgia. So I'll be down there real soon. We could just find a way to connect all of this stuff.
Podcast on the planet.
Yeah, I mean?
Reality TV type shit. But listen, Chief, we ain't gonna hold you, man. Appreciate you, big dog.
Yo, I appreciate you too, bro. I appreciate both of y'all, man. It was an honor for me, and it was a respect. Like I said, I hope this is not the last time. I'm gonna make some room. So whenever y'all have some time to give me a heads up ahead of time, then I'm gonna definitely make some space, y'all.
That's peace, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Love, man. Honor and respect, brothers.
Peace. Islam, brother. Islam.
Bro.
Nah, that was a goodie.
And listen, nigga. You got to find somebody now. Where you at?
I got you.
You got to bring a guest on next.
I got you. I got the perfect brother to bring on to the channel. We're going to get him on. He a Hebrew Israelite, though, so.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
It'll be a good conversation for y'all. Friday, tomorrow.
Let's do it.
Tomorrow. We get active, man. I need everybody that tapped into this one tonight. Tap in tomorrow. I want to talk about Chief Tuscaloosa, man. The war in Alabama. I want to get into that one.
Yep. All right. I bet dog. Let me know what time tomorrow, man. Set it up. Want me to set up? I set it up. It don't matter, man. And then we'll just go from there, bro. Appreciate you, man.
All right. Yes, sir. See y'all later, man. Love, Islam.
Peace. Listen, man. Minister fucking information. The big dog Copper Color King in the building. We starting from humble beginnings now. Because y'all know I was on a whole nother wave before. But I got my own shit now. Share this shit, man. Tag somebody. Click that bell so every time we go live, you get notification, man. You get notified immediately. Because I'm not stopping. I'm not slowing down. It's going to get crazier and crazier. You go fuck around one day, look up here. I'm gonna be the man on this bitch, man. But I need y'all help though. So subscribe to the channel. If you're ever on Facebook, man, share it. Hit that share button. If you're in those Facebook groups, man, tag people. Get this shit out there, man. We're not gonna stop, bro. All y'all showed up, man. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody. Peace to the planet.
Not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised.